talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop, stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's what I do. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop, stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's what I do. Leave.
This is Cynthia Ortiz. Again, these are the Charles Perry Stalker Podcasts. It is January 20th, 2022. We do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law yet. Apply the but-for standard. But for Mr. Perry doing that to me all fucking day long. Except in much weirder, more dangerous ways. And Mr. Robertson as well. Mr. Powell, Mr. Burson, Mr. Chadwick as well. The main two are Charles and Dave Robertson. You're caught. Again, you're caught. But for them doing this to me all fucking day, everywhere I go, making one problem after another problem after another problem after another problem, we wouldn't do the Stalker Podcast. Mr. Perry, this is evidence in court of law. I've told you before, if I'm quoting you verbatim, there's a wiretap or a leak. Apply the but-for standard, apply the reasonable, prudent, individual standard. If you're me or her, what do you do? I don't like you, Charles Perry. I don't like you. I'm not going to change my mind. The more you try to force yourself on me, the more you don't listen to what I'm saying. I said no. I said stop contacting me. I said get out of my life. And I've said it over and over and over and over for years. I left. That was 8 years ago. Act like a grown man and move the fuck on. I said no. David, I said no. Stop. 30,000 emails, the guy said, Mr. Perry. I'm going through her emails to find out what else she got before, what all was a threat, and how many times did she say, leave me alone? In the last, since the McNamara email in 2015, how many I told you so's are there? I counted about 30,000. I had to go to an industrial-sized printer. My printer couldn't handle it all. Who was that, Perry? I don't like you. You disgust me, sir. I don't like you either, David. You disgust me, too. When you piss me off, forcing yourself on me, Mr. Perry, you piss off the 40 cops catching you that got me the Fabian puzzle. Get a grip on reality. You need to control yourself. You're pathetic. You need to control yourselves. You're pathetic. I said no. I'm not changing my mind. And the more you push, and the more you coerce, and the more duress you cause me, and the more loss and stress and anxiety you cause me, the harder my guys go at you and the more we get. Nobody's caught your crime like we have. And you guys don't seem to get that. I don't know what the hell planet you live on.
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop, stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's what I do. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop, stop stalking. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
What does that say? Can you not read, Charles? Dave, can you not read? This says all I want is for him to leave me alone. It's dated 2014. Mr. Perry, I told you to leave me alone. That's what I fucking mean. I don't want you. I don't have any feelings for you but deep disgust. Write it down. I'm tired of repeating myself. Do you have Alzheimer's? Mr. Perry, do you have Alzheimer's? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm not going to change my mind. I left. Mr. Perry, I left. That was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I left. You have no chance of a date with me, and I'm not going to change my mind. You're just pissing me off. The more you push, the more you force. Just like Neil. You look pathetic like that, too. I said, leave me alone. You had from 2011 until 2014 to control yourself. I said, leave me alone. I'm not interested in anything with you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't even want to know you. You make all my skin crawl, Mr. Perry. You are disgusting to me. Disgusting. You shouldn't have to sue somebody to make them go away 3 times. And you buying your way out of that didn't change what I want at all. I don't want you. I don't like you. I don't want you. I don't like you. Your imaginary affair is bothering everybody. We're all sick and tired of hearing it. Nobody cares what you think, Charles. Nobody cares what you think. You were not asked. No one asked you. What were you asked to do? Leave me alone. You want to subjugate me? I said no. I said fuck you, didn't I? I said no. Violent subjugation, economic subjugation, and you guys get caught over and over and over and over and over. What somebody, so one of you guys' attorneys was recorded? Did you get anything from Cynthia Ortiz? No, but I haven't checked the bulk mail yet. Do you understand how much trouble you don't even have attorney-client privilege anymore because your attorneys are now in our court? The cops that get me everything you just said in the Fabian puzzle. That guy that gives investigatory orders has deemed it conspiracy to commit the crime. So you don't have attorney-client privilege anymore. This is your notification verbally, Mr. Perry, Mr. Robertson, Mr. Warman. Leave me the fuck alone. Charles, you're never going to get a date with me. The more you try to, the more angry I get. I left 8 years ago. I left. You don't have any class or dignity. You don't have a chance of a date with me. I left. I left. Write it down. There's nothing there. It doesn't go both ways. You don't get to just rape. You don't get to rape. You're not getting away with it this time. Are you? What does that say, Charles? This is a 2015 email giving great detail as to something Mr. Perry planned to do to hurt me. Something illegal. Which he did carry it out to some extent. Where's my blood test, Mr. Perry? Where's the police investigation, Mr. Perry? Where's the video, Mr. Perry? This he carried out, 2015. It's called the McNamara email. Charles, reread this. You seem to have, with your Alzheimer's, forgotten what this said and what the significance of it is, Mr. Perry. You're not all there, are you? It's very, very aggravating to have to deal with. You're stupid. You're slow. We're sick and we're tired of it, Mr. Perry. You do not have the right to peep. You don't have the right to hack. You don't have the right to make phone calls to take my money. Robertson, you don't. And you will stop or you're gonna be stopped. And you won't like how that happens. When I quote you, you need to worry. You need to worry. You made 40 cops pissed off at you. I said leave me alone. It's not that hard to do. It costs no time and no money. This right here, Perry, says you don't have a cover-up. You're not going to get a date with me. You're not ever gonna get a date with me. You're not ever gonna get a date with me. All you're doing is causing me stress and you're pissing us off. Stop bothering me. It is enough. I shouldn't have to do these podcasts. It is enough, Mr. Perry. It's enough. Stop. Stop. Get your hands out of my wallet. Every time you get... Look, you guys all want me back out at the club. You know what happened? You ran off all my customers. My guy said we had you going in there because if you can get some evidence and some money, they're not going to pay me right now. If I'm on their payroll, Robertson, do you think they're going to pay me right now since you guys wake up every day and look at my bank account to see if I have money? They record you talking about it every morning. Does she have money? Is she going to work today? What is she going to do? How's she going to pay this bill and that bill? Because we called everybody she could get work with and told them not to give her work. Because Charles thinks then she'll call him and subjugate. It's called economic abuse. You're going to jail. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Grand larceny. Robertson. Interference with commerce. Interference with interstate commerce. I'm not going to tell you exactly what the charges are going to look like. I'm giving you a few buzzwords you might need to research. Get out of my fucking life. Get out of it. 30,000 emails of me where you got caught, and I'm quoting what you just said. Doesn't tell you you're in a little bit of trouble. Maybe you need to leave me alone. You fucked with the wrong people. You don't know who I am, and you don't know who I know. But I come from law enforcement, Mr. Perry and Mr. Robertson. What the fuck is the matter with you? How many more do we need to get for you to see that you're in a lot of trouble? Get out of my wallet, David. Get out of my wallet, Charles. I'm not going to call you. I don't want anything to do with you. I went to a whole lot of trouble, Mr. Perry, to leave town to get away from you. Do you know it's not that easy to move? I had a job, I had a career, a life in politics. My granddad was the power in the town where I grew up. He was the police chief and an elected official. That's how I grew up. You have no idea what that's like, do you? You're pathetic. You're absolutely pathetic. We're all sick and tired of you. It's not that hard to get information because of it. We're sick of you. One problem after another problem after another problem after another problem after another profound loss after another catastrophic loss after another profound loss after another, and everybody is kicking your ass. If I'm quoting you 30,000 times since this email. You so disturbed somebody that they reported you, Mr. Perry. Who'd they report you to? Who is it? You don't know, and nobody's going to help you. We all want you gone. You don't give the kind of life up that I had and go work in a fucking strip club unless you have to. All right? I was in a strip club, David. You guys ran off my money, so my guy said they have increased the risks to harm you, to hurt you, to cause an illegal act that would result in a serious injury to you. We're pulling you out. It isn't worth the canned food they give you, the $30. You're caught. What planet do you fucking live on? So you ran off my money, now I'm not on the strip club. And how many times have we recorded you guys going, we gotta get her back on that pole. Can't we get her back out on that pole and on a schedule? Who is that? Who is that? Charles, get off me. Charles, you're caught. Charles, you're caught. Charles, you're caught. Charles, you don't have a date, you're caught. Charles, how many times do I gotta repeat that for you to get it? Charles, you're caught. You're not gonna get a date with me. Charles, you're caught. How many times were you caught before you met me? How many after? We're sick and tired of repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over. You're caught, bitch. You're caught. You're caught. Stop. 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 You're caught. Stop. You're caught. Stop. You're caught. Stop. Leave me alone. Get a life and get out of mine. You don't have a choice. You do not have a choice. I don't even, nobody understand. We all sit there and scratch our heads going, what in the fuck at this point? When we've just quoted him the last 3 days nonstop. I didn't see it in the mail. I'll look in the bulk mail. What is that all about? What is that all about? Big ol' long conversation. After big ol' long conversation. All over the place. Everybody talked about Bill Clinton. Everybody made fun of Bill Clinton. You know, Paula Jones was on Sean Hannity describing his penis. What in the fuck? What makes you think you're entitled to a lie? What makes you think that? You're not. Get out of my life. Get the fuck out of my life, Mr. Perry. Where's Jacqueline when you bother me? That's who you owe. That's who's entitled to an explanation, not you. Get your cameras off me. Do not hack me again. Do not call my family. Do not call my friends. Do not call anybody I work with, because I promise you, you're going to wish you hadn't done that. If I'm quoting you, I have a Fabian puzzle. You can't explain how I got that, and you had no control over it, and it's very specific to me. Then you can't tell you're in a little trouble now? What planet do you live on? Look at this. This is why I left Lubbock. This is Creepster right here. Pulling up behind my house and watching me in my backyard, sending your secretary to the restaurants I go to, and then you coming in when you thought I might be there because you saw me with your fucking peeper creeper cameras. You saw me leave, but I forgot my phone, so you didn't know where I went. I was in Lubbock. I left to get away from you, and I didn't tell anybody. You had a weirdo problem for 4 years. I moved, started all over again, took a minor child with me. A minor child, a little kid, lost everything he had. You had a shitty childhood, you're gonna make everybody else have one too? Is that what your deal is? You're gonna punish everybody else because you had a shitty life? Control yourself. I forgot my phone at home and went to run errands. You should think I'm at home if you hacked my phone, right? You're pathetic. This is why I left. I moved twice. I didn't tell anybody but a few close friends that you had a weirdo problem you can't control. And then I went public. Because I'm not going to be the next Chandra Levy. David, you have been caught calling people about my money. Get out of my wallet. Get out of it. Charles, you have too. Get the fuck out of my wallet. Get your cameras off me. Get out of my phone. Get out of my computer. I'm going to tell you this one more time. Listen to the words. Are you babies? Are you babies? How many times were you caught before you met me? How many times after? I want that number. And whatever conversations you guys are having about service of the appeal for the Oklahoma Supreme Court, argue it before the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Okay? That's a matter. If you don't have it yet, don't worry about it. When you get it, if you feel like it's not right, argue it before the court and let the court decide. That's what courts are for. When I decide that I'm going to work doing something, I tell my guys first. My guys have everything all set up, so if you call the fuck with it, they record you, they catch you, you're caught. Economic abuse, harassment of my witness, grand larceny with intent to coerce, interference with commerce, interference with interstate commerce. You're fucked, David. The 18th was a bust. I couldn't afford to go out there. And I don't work at a strip club anymore. Those are your results. I haven't asked for anything from you, Perry, except that you leave me the fuck alone. The first protective order, the first time you were sued, there was no money requested. I didn't ask for money. You know what I asked the judge to do? Make you leave me the fuck alone. I'm not into you. It doesn't go both ways. It's just rape. Stop contacting me. Stop contacting anybody I know. Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. I shouldn't have to get on podcasts and do crazy rants. You're grown-ass men. Act like it. Look at her face. This is how I think of you, Perry. What a fucking ridiculous idiot this man is. Saying the shit. He's delusional erotomania. Let me tell you something. I said that when I lived in Vegas, before I got married. After I got married, of course it's different. But before I got married, when I lived in Vegas, Mr. Perry, I had money. I'm very good at whatever it is I choose to do. I'm a success. Your bullshit is no longer working. Do you understand? It isn't working anymore. I've been successful at everything I do. I have a 3.9 grade point average in college. I'm taking criminal justice college. It was psychology, but I took some criminal justice classes as electives. And I liked them so much. I grew up in police. 3 generations of police. 3 generations, you idiots, of police. And you chose me as a victim? You're nuts. I don't even know what you guys were thinking. I don't fit your victimology at all. I don't subjugate, Calvin. It pisses me off. You're just pissing me off. I worked in D.C. federal politics, Calvin. You don't think I know how to push back a little? You don't survive that world and not know how to push back a little. I'm not from here, and I didn't come to pick a fight with you. I don't even know you. I don't even know you. Listen, when I lived in Vegas, I had a lot of money. I drove an Infiniti Q45. I was 24 years old. That's a $40,000 car, Calvin. It's like a Mercedes. I didn't know. Nobody helped me pay for that. I paid for that. Saeed helped me get it. Saeed is from Pakistan. That means I'm, not limited to your little podunk hillbilly world. Guys, I don't even understand that kind of thinking. I've been around Vegas. You walk down the strip, you ask them if they think you're important. Ask them if there's people from all over the world. A lot of people who worked very hard to get there. They worked very hard to save for a vacation in Vegas. They're walking down the strip. Go ask them if they care who the fuck you are, Calvin, David, Josh, Joe, Matt, Charles. Ask them if they give a shit who you are. That's where I came from before I went to Lubbock, Charles. I had VIP passes to every single nightclub in Vegas. They parked my car right in front. Valeted. You have to wait hours to get into a nightclub in Vegas. There's lines for miles. Every Friday and every Saturday, I walked right in with my VIP pass. What kind of movie stars did I meet? You don't even know. That's where I met Tristan's dad, Brandon Rogue. That's where I met him, in a nightclub. There was a place called The Drink and Eat. You know who I met? I met a movie star about 5 minutes before that. 5-10 minutes before that. And you know what happened? I sat down at a bar. He sat down right next to me and began to try to strike up a conversation with me. I didn't go look for him. He came and sat right next to me. Somebody else came and jumped in between us and started talking, and I got up to leave. His guy comes over and says, "Wait, please don't leave. He came to talk to you." And that man was very rude, and I'm sorry he did that. Jumped in like that and butt in like that. But if you don't mind, can you wait? He really wants to talk to you. I said, sure. So I'm sitting there waiting for them to finish talking, and he comes over to me, and unfortunately, I couldn't remember his real name. I remembered his character's name. And when I said that, I apologize. I don't remember your real name. I know your character's name. And I said the character's name. He got very upset with me. And he slapped me on the back and turned. He goes, "I can't believe this. She doesn't know my name." And he walked off. I pissed him off. But he sought me out. That's kind of interactions I had all the time. Dumbass. You don't matter to me. You don't mean anything to me. You're a menace that needs to be locked up. And I'm helping do that. And I've done that more than anybody you know. I have kicked your criminal ass, Mr. Perry, more than anybody you know. I don't like you. I don't want any kind of relationship with you. And you're pissing me off more by the day when you try to push and force and coerce and push and force and coerce and bother and bother and pester and bother. And you take my money and you fuck with me and you take my money and you fuck with this and you cause a problem here and you cause a problem there and you make everybody angry more by the day. 30,000, I gotta get an industrial size printer. My printer can't handle all these emails. There's probably 30,000 here where she caught him before he did something to hurt her. And someone else stepped in and put a stop to it. Get the fuck out of my life. This is how I see you, you sick son of a bitch.
By, and I didn't want you to pass me by when I saw you. I thought you were the one for me, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. Just to kick back and relax in life and get away from the ratness, the rotten people, and just pursue a different life, get a better head start, you know? I'm no one to preach to you. I'm not Mr. Perfect. Believe me, I've got so many faults, way more than even you do in your crazy life you live. But
I'm a preschool teacher.
I don't wish, and I don't want any ill will on you. And animosity and anger is not good for the heart. I'm not angry at you. You know I love you. And I don't say that about anybody. Never, ever.
I don't know.
Only Ashley, the other girl I wanted to get to know. And she left her mom, you know. She got arguments with her mom. Not her mom, her sister. And they were, getting along. And she's a real friendly, quiet girl. She's like the girl you'd see on Nickelodeon and you know, the Mickey Mouse Club growing up. But, I don't want to pursue anybody that one. There's young ladies and young girls.
Charles, I said no. I said no. The more you push and force and push and force and push and force, the more pissed off I get. I said no. I've said no for 8 years. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to repair. You got an imaginary something in your head that's not real. It's not real. It's imaginary. You're ridiculous with that shit. You're the butt of a dirty joke. You reduced yourself to that. That was your choice. I said no. I said stop. For 8 years. Every day. And you're pissing me off. It's just rape. Stop contacting me. There's nothing to fix. There's no relationship. You're stalking. Delusional erotomania. Delusional erotomania. Look it up. You have it bad. You have it bad. You have no chance of a date with me ever. And I have said that, Mr. Perry, over and over and over and over and over and over. And you want to buy a lie. Duly noted for the record. I said no to that too. Stop trying to force me to do something or say something against my will that I've already said no to for 8 years. It's not a day or a week. It's not even a month. It is 8 fucking years. It's a decade. You fail. You fail. You can't be normal. You have to be normal to ride this ride. You fail. I said no to you. I don't want anything to do with you. And you're just harassing me, and I'm pissed about it. And so are the 40 cops that tell me what you just said. I had to get an industrial-sized printer to print off all the times, the emails about the times these guys caught him trying to hurt her, and she made an email about it. What about the time she didn't say anything? How many more recordings are there? How many more recordings are there? I said, leave me the fuck alone. 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 I said it to Dr. Russell. What combination of words, doctor, do I use to get the guy to leave me the fuck alone? I said it to Pinto. You could ruin him politically. I don't care about that. You know what I want? I want for him to leave me the fuck alone. The same guys that gave me the Fabian puzzle, the same guys that gave me the McNamara email, the same guys that gave me the Mike was drugged email, the same guys that gave me the we're going to have her car towed and sold before she figures out it's not legal email, on and on and on 30,000 times. I had to get an industrial-sized printer. How many recordings are there? What courtroom have they already been played in, David? I said no. I said stop contacting me. Leave me the fuck alone. When I want to work somewhere and make money, David, my guys are already making phone calls before you know a thing about it. So that when you call to take my money, David, you're recorded. What courtroom has that already been played in, sir? Leave me the fuck alone. The more Charles causes problems for me, or you, David, the more drama you cause, or Matt calls up here, what's her whereabouts? What's her address? We want her address. What's her whereabouts? That was recorded too. You think it's her? I don't know if it's her. I think, can you pick her out of a crowd? Maybe. Does she have blonde hair or brunette hair now? We've heard she changed her hair color. We don't know where she lives. It might be in this general area. How? Recording after recording after recording after recording after 30,000 that you know of. 30,000 that I said something about. How many more are there I didn't say anything about? I don't have time to type all that shit up. I don't. You need to control yourself, you pathetic... I've called you every name... I have called Charles Perry names, said words I've never used in my entire life. To try to send the message, I don't like you. I don't want to hear from you. You don't mean anything to me. You're making me mad. You're making my skin crawl. Look at this.
Some girls passed me by.
Please, I can't live here anymore because you stopped me. That's what I do.
Just
Leave me alone.
I will.
Do you see how disgusting that man is? And how everybody reacted? Oh my God. Look what that man did to her. 4 years of that. And he didn't have cameras in her house. She could go home and be safe, and I can't. And I'm pissed. Get your cameras out of my house. Get your cameras out of my home. You don't have permission to have them. Mr. Powell, Charles knows exactly where I live. He has cameras in my home. That's his thing. He's a little weirdo. Charles, walk in a bar and announce to every woman in there, I have a peeping Tom problem I can't control. I also like subjugating women and I'm abusive. Starvation, torture, and torment of women and little kids is my thing. And I don't have an alibi to prove I'm doing anything but that. I don't have one, because that's all I do all day. Mr. Perry, see how many women want you. When they find out what you sit around on your fat lazy ass doing all day. Why don't you get up and work? Those guys out in Manfred complained about that. Perry calls up here and says she's squandering her time. She's lazy. What's happening really? Go in her unit and look at the tubs of legal documents and legal studies and books that she's reading and studying to try to fight him off in court. You shouldn't have to sue somebody to get him to leave you alone, especially after you already moved twice and changed your whole life, changed your career. Walk away from a career where you're meeting with senators and judges and governors and go work in a fucking strip club so that you can hide. You're not fooling anybody. You're not. You're stupid. You think everybody's as stupid as you. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Walk in a bar, Mr. Perry, and go and tell everybody in there what you do all day. And see how many women want to go home with you. You're disgusting. You're repulsive. Cyril Wecht was talking about Jeff Epstein. And he goes, I think he was murdered. I don't think he committed suicide. I think he was killed. He was in a cell with a cop, by the way. A big, huge, like 8-foot cop. Police officer. A police officer was his cellmate, Mr. Perry. So, he says, I think that he was murdered because even prisoners are repulsed by sex weirdos like Jeff Epstein. And you're worse. His friends complained, Mr. Perry. They got very upset when they found out he had cameras hidden in his home. His home, not theirs. Get your cameras out of my house. Right now, turn that shit off and go work. Get out of my phone, get out of my computer, get out of my life. You don't have a choice. 30,000 emails about what you were planning to do but you got caught isn't a little clue. Maybe you don't have a choice. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. I'm tired of repeating myself. I'm not going to change my mind. I said no, and I said stop. And I'm going to say it one time. And if you keep pushing me, you're going to piss me off and a whole bunch of people you're going to wish you hadn't pissed off. Leave me the fuck alone.
You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why you. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Perry, leave me alone. It's like talking to a little 6-month-old infant with you. I need somebody who's very, very smart. He's very, very normal. He's very, very kind. And you're none of that. Get off me, rapist. Get off me, rapist.
Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
It's disgusting.
Leave me alone.
You disgust everybody. It's not that hard to get what you just said. When I say leave me alone and you continue to harass and contact me and harass and contact me and harass and contact me, what happens? What's the result of that, Mr. Perry? You get told on and you piss me off and you get told on and you piss me off and you get told on. And because you piss off all the guys that got me the Fabian puzzle, dumbass. Because everyone sees you like they see him. Pathetic. You fail. I don't want to hear from you. You act like you think there's some secret love there. That's delusional erotomania, dumbass. That's what that is. There's nothing there. I don't like you. I'm not going to change my mind. The more you coerce and push and bother and contact me after I said stop it, the more angry I get. I'm angry. I have every right to be. You're committing a crime against me. Get the fuck off me. Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Get away from me. Go away. Leave me alone. Get off me. Did I say it enough times? How many times do I need to say it for you to go away? For you to get it. I don't like you. I don't care what you think. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you want. Get away from me. You know what? Go talk to your wife, Jackie. How does she feel about what you sit around doing all day? You owe her an explanation. No one owes you one. Get off me. I don't like hearing from you. I don't like your peep and Tom problem. It's disgusting. You disgust me. You repulse me. You repulse even prisoners. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yes. I have asked a zillion people in the mental health care, friends that are in the mental health care profession, say, what combination of words do I need to use to get him to stop stalking me? To get him to understand, I don't love you, I'm never going to love you. Whatever was there is over. It's been over. I'm sorry that you are stuck there and that you're imagining things now that aren't there. My feelings for you aren't what yours are for me. And I need you to stop because you're hurting me and you're hurting my family. What combination of words can I use to get that across to him so he will stop? And nobody has the answer to that question.
Well, and I think it's the opposite. I mean, the hurting you may be what he wants to do, and when he knows it hurts you, then
He doesn't want.
he doesn't want. And that is why with stalking, you have to
kids were young, and you might be talking to another grown-up, and they'll come up and they, and you're kind of like, you're kind of talking, and finally they do it so much that you go, what?
Exactly.
It's like that.
Exactly, and that is the behaviorally what we know and what we see is that you do something, you get a response. So you do it again and you get a response. So then you do it and you get no response. So you do it again. And then you up it until you get that response. And that's what this behavioral analysis. And so what you see is go along, response, things are going well, the person decides not to give you a response, so you just do more of it, and they respond because it's so terrible. And so you go back down, you ignore it again, no response, and it just gets higher and higher. And the only way, eventually there is extinction, and that means eventually it goes away, but you have to be able to handle that escalation. And unfortunately, his escalation, and this is what I tell. I work with some people with developmental disabilities, and they're big and tall, and they know how to escalate when they'll hate or something, ignore. But the problem is they can escalate more than you can ignore, and that's what you go with Charles.
It would put me in jail, so now I have a criminal case that I have to pay attention to.
And that's why the criminal case, I think, is where your focus is going to be.
That was the McNamara email. He's going to arrange a false arrest. You did. Where's the blood test? Where's the blood test? What, somebody got onto you guys? She doesn't call 911. She only files a police report if she has to get a protective order. Because in the state of Oklahoma, you got to do that. It's the law. So I filed one on the 21st of 2016. And 9 days later, you had me false arrested. Just like the McNamara email said in October. You didn't let us get the video. You didn't let us look at her text. You didn't let us test her blood to see what you gave her. That was making her sick, trying to poison her, trying to kill her. If you don't recant your claims, I'm going to put you in the lake. Tried to kill me. Femicide. Tulsa police, 75% of femicide victims were stalked first. That's pretty high numbers. I don't want to be on the first 48, where you got to dig my body off of something, and there I am. Oh, we solved this one. That's shooting fish in the barrel, don't you think? And then Matt, you obstructed justice. There was no determination made. Here's the thing that I do, Matt, and Charles, and Dave, and Josh, and Joe, is typically, preferably, one would wait until the police make a determination. Like with the vandalism in Manford. Was it them or not? It's indicated to be more like you, since there was no forced entry. Like you're a professional at this. You got a key to every car I own. You check the mileage. What's the mileage? How much gas you have? Who the fuck talks like that? Is that you, Calvin? Who talks like that? Gotta get her back on that pole and on the schedule. Who is that? I'm not told who it is. I'm not told who the leaks are either, Charles. Today he's typing in my phone. Is it New Jersey? Call him and ask him. And tell him to stop stopping your crime. I don't know who you think, I mean, why would I tell you who's helping me? Why would I tell you that? And as I don't know who your leaks are. I don't know. I'm not told that. It's for their protection and mine. And nobody owes you an answer. You're not owed that. You know what you need to do? Comply with the law. Have you ever heard terms like social norms? Outside social norms? Morally wrong? Ethically wrong? Legally wrong? Deviant and deviant criminal? Somebody with tattoos all over them? Maybe deviant, but that's not illegal. Peeping is. Peeping is deviant and illegal. Jeffy got beat up in jail because even prisoners are repulsed by the outside of social norm deviant behavior you do all day. What makes you think a woman would want that? What did I say to her? I just want him to leave me the fuck alone. Over and over and over. And the more you push me, listen, I worked in hardball land, DC politics, Mr. Perry, not your little state bullshit. I didn't do state until 2012. In New Mexico, where you don't legislate. See, you seem like you're not all there. Like maybe, developmental disabilities. Is that you? You have developmental disabilities, Mr. Perry? That you don't understand what somebody's saying to you? Leave me alone. You don't know how to act right? You don't know when you're caught? 30,000 emails. I had to go to a professional industrial-sized printer. My printer can't handle all that. And I got to determine what they get caught on first before they did it. Somebody stepped in to help her. Fabian Puzzle. Who are those people that got me that in jail? There's no determination on any report she's ever filed. Because you had a knee-jerk reaction. Where's the blood test, Powell? Because after you took custody of me, then you had a legal obligation to get it. Preserve the evidence. What happened to Mike Neely? I said it 2 months before anybody else said it. He was drugged. He didn't do that. That's why he didn't have a mark on him. And he doesn't remember anything. He slept through it. Killing a cop. You know how many cops are pissed off at you right now? See, there's a whole country full of cops, Perry. You got a handful that you got on your payroll. But guess what? The whole rest of the country is pretty fucking pissed at you. You killed a cop. I have help from outside of Oklahoma and Texas. Because guess what? I'm not from here. I don't do hillbilly. You can argue with them or put him in jail, TPD. I don't care. But I think lucky if he had it to do over again, he would have stopped arguing with him and put him in jail. I'm not going to slow down for you. You need to keep up. And we're not going to give you our evidence. We don't owe you that. You get your own. Get your own. We don't, whoever wants to be the Sheriff Rowan in this deal and be the bitch of a sex pervert, that's your choice. And you got to live with that. That's your legacy. That's what you want. You chose that for you. We don't owe you anything. Nobody does. Nobody owes you anything. Charles, I have the right to my privacy in my house. Get out of it. I have the right to privacy in my phone and in my computer. Get out of it. I have the right to privacy in my car. Get out of it. I have the right to privacy in my bank accounts. Get out of it. I have the right to privacy when I try to work. Get out of it. Because every time you don't, you get told on, and 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 you piss everybody off, and you make everybody sick at their stomach. And everybody's sick and tired of y'all. Stop contacting me, Mr. Perry. Stop invading my privacy. Stop causing a problem for me, because every time you do, we get more and more and more. 30,000 emails that I think there's probably even more than that. And then that's only what she typed up. What else is there? What else is there? Every time he tries to hurt her, somebody comes in and puts a stop to it. What did I tell Pinto? What did I tell him, Perry? At the end of the conversation, you could ruin him politically. Yep, I don't give a shit about that. What I want is for the weirdo to leave me the fuck alone. I want for him to leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Look, he's asking, are you wearing a wire? 3 times he asked me that. Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Get out of my house. Get out of my life. Leave me the fuck alone. When you bother me, when you cause drama and problems for me, when you hack and peep, and when you invade my privacy and butt into shit that none of your business, you get told on and told on and told on. Those are your results. Those are your outcomes. Is that what you wanted? That's all you got. That's all you'll ever get. And the more you force, and the more you push, and the more you invade, and the more you butt in, and the more you impede, the more caught you get. I've never seen anybody this stupid in my life. I didn't know it was possible to be this stupid. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You could ruin him politically. He says it. It's recorded and it's typed up right here. Right there. You could ruin him politically. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. What do I want? I want him to leave me alone. Over and over and over and over. Don't you understand grown-up words people say? It's like talking to a 6-month-old baby. You know somebody, one of your people, Mr. Perry, when I was in Manford, said we had a meeting and we told Charles, you're going to have to let her go. It's not that hard. It's causing problems for everybody else. Leave her alone. Let her go. It's not that hard. And he clenched his fist up and turned red and threw a little fit like a 2-year-old. In my whole life, I've never seen a grown man act like that. I had to leave the room. It made me sick at my stomach. How pathetic and embarrassing. I wouldn't walk in a room with you for millions. I would not walk in a room with you for millions. Mr. Powell, I came in from Lubbock to Lubbock from Vegas. Sir, you're not important. You need to get off your high horse. When you call up here and ask my whereabouts, I hear about it every time. Every time. Because you're pissing everybody off. Leave me the fuck alone. I left. It's 8 years. Move on. Move the fuck on. Everybody gets rejected. Everybody moves on. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Nobody came up here, David, to pick a fight with you. Or you, Calvin. I don't even know you, Calvin. I barely know Dave. I didn't pick a fight with you. You get up every day and you pick one with me. And then when it blows up in your face, you act like a little girl and you cry. All you had to do is leave me the fuck alone. You don't know who I am and you don't know who I know. And the more you push and coerce and take and rob and push and coerce, the results of that is I had to go to a professional printer. There's too many of these for me to print up on my own printer. 30,000 times they were caught trying to hurt her, and somebody else came in and said, stop. You're grown-ass men. Act like it. We're sick of y'all. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape...
He's happy she's okay. You don't think other people think like that? That's how most people think, Mr. Perry. I'm happy she's okay. What fucking planet do you idiots live on? I'm happy she's okay. Normal people don't like watching one person bully another person and cause hardship and loss after loss after loss for another person. They're sick of y'all. Everybody's sick of y'all. Outside social norm. Deviant. Illegal. It's illegal because people don't like it when you do that. And if they don't like it when you do shit like that, they're not going to like you. It's not that hard. Epstein's friends were pissed off. He's got cameras in his house, and that whole time we didn't know, and we're mad about it. We have the right to be mad about it. They were in his house. How much more angry and disgusting are you that you put cameras in other people's homes? You sick son of a bitch, and you're caught now. Nobody has kicked your criminal ass more harder than we have. Nobody you know has done that. And it's about fucking time. You will never get a date with me. Ever. I left. 8 years ago, I left. Move on like a grown-ass man, and you owe your wife, Jackie, a whole lot of explanations as to how you spent your time over the past 6 years, because you're pathetic. And you came up here, and you acted like we're a couple, and everybody started wondering about your sanity when you're always alone, and I won't have anything to do with you. I'm sued you, and sued you, and sued you, and you buy your way out doesn't change my intent. You shouldn't have to sue somebody to make them leave you the fuck alone.
Culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape.
Everybody else understands it is illegal and disgusting to peep on a woman, to stalk a woman, to harass a woman, to take her money, to coerce, to harass, to tamper with a witness and a victim in a crime, to commit perjury after perjury after perjury to buy a judge. That's why everyone doesn't do what you do. You don't have a cover-up, and you don't have a date, and you never will. That ship sailed long ago on both. Get the fuck out of my life. And the more you contact me after I've asked you to stop, the more mad we'll get. I shouldn't have to do these ranting podcasts where I sound like a crazy woman, because I'm sick and tired of you doing what you're doing. I sound like her. What is she yelling? I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to talk to you, Neil. This is that. I don't want you in my life. Get out of it. Get out of it. Leave me the fuck alone. This is the law, Mr. Powell. You gotta file a police report. You know what else the law says, Mr. Powell? It has to be investigated. You cannot obstruct justice. You cannot destroy evidence, and you cannot commit perjury. Where's the political evidence, sir? Where is the evidence there's a political vendetta? Ever was. I don't, I come from Vegas. I don't give a shit who Perry is. I was in politics all my life. You think I'm gonna walk out of the office of Harry Reid? Let me tell you something. I got a call from somebody in Nevada. I'm not going to say the person's name, but they were pretty well respected in Nevada politics. And the person goes, I heard you met with Harry Reid. And I said, I did. How the fuck did you get an appointment with him? You know, nobody gets an appointment with him unless you know somebody. I said, and I know, and I do. So yeah, that's how that happened. I know somebody. It took me 2 years. It took about the same amount of time to get an appointment with John Ensign. I met with both of them. You don't walk out of their offices, federal United States senators and congressmen, and be impressed by some podunk new guy in the smallest district in a state. I wasn't impressed. He's just another, but I'm going to tell you something. There was a guy, Mr. Powell, in Lubbock, who had all my claims reviewed by his attorney. He was pissed off when he found out what you guys did. And he goes, you know what? Here's the thing is we had somebody finally in Lubbock that could recruit good people. And he ran her off. Because here's how that works. She can bring in a whole bunch of candidates for all kinds of different positions and get them elected. Perry's one guy. And these one guys come and go. And he ran that off, and we needed her here. She's a go-getter. She doesn't care who you fucking think you are. If she doesn't agree with you, she'll tell you. I've seen her straighten out one or two guys that needed straightening out. Charles, do not contact me. He just did it again. Listen to the words I'm saying. You know you got a bunch of doctors very concerned about your mental health because you never respond right to what was just said. Act like a grown man. Get out of my house. I don't care what you think. You are not asked. This is the law, Powell. You have to file a police report. So the guy told you. Guess what? A lot of people talk bad about Clinton. What's the difference between him and Charles? You want to run for office? Then you know your life is subject to scrutiny by the public because they can choose. Do I want to elect a guy that has this secret problem in his life or not? Sometimes they'll vote for you anyway. But they have the right to know. And you don't have the right to shut a victim up of crime. And guess what? I'm not just my voice. I'm the voice of all the victims, and that includes Michael P. Neely, Manford, police officer Michael Neely, and Chief of Police Miller, who deserves the honors of being, honored for being killed in the line of duty. He gave his life for me, Mr. Powell, and I don't take that lightly, and I can't even imagine how you can. He gave his life for me, and that should have never happened. I don't know how you live with yourself, sir, and it's more important to you to find where I live so you can fuck with me some more instead of finding out what happened to that guy. Because you know you cannot beat a man to death when you're unconscious, drugged, and have not a mark on you. And so it seems like if you were a good man, that you would, and a good prosecutor, and a good law enforcement officer, because a prosecutor is an arm of that you would have stepped up and said, where are the marks on him that looked like he was in a fight? Where are they? He was treated for drug overdose, and he was found in respiratory distress. He was dying, Mr. Powell. What difference does it make where I live? And it seems like you guys would have said, we're behind police, we black the blue, let's find out who did this because we don't want it looking like it was us. And nothing was determined. Because when I go to court, Mr. Powell, I want to have a determination. It doesn't make sense to go in to our judge and say, I filed a police report, but nobody knows really what the fuck happened. Because there was no determination made. Because they obstructed justice and they destroyed my evidence. I don't have any. Do you know it's easier, Mr. Perry? Shut up! He likes typing my computer trying to talk to me when I'm doing these. But you know what? Every time I scream, shut up, he does. He stops. Shut up. You were not asked what you think. I don't have my evidence because you destroyed it. That is evidence, dumbass. That is evidence. I was raised by police. I know how that works. Destruction of evidence is evidence, dumbass. You are dumb as a brick. You know that? You don't think anything through. When you obstructed justice, when you committed perjury, where's the evidence of a political vendetta? Mr. Perry, where is it? What is the issue? You thought you mattered so much that you went into a courtroom and claimed that there was a false police report filed and it was because of a political vendetta. Where's the evidence, sir? You produce it or you shut up. Everyone's tired of hearing me scream at you. Leave me alone. Just like TikTok girl. You think women like to have a day like that full of negativity? Having to scream at some ugly bitch who can't just move on. Nothing more pathetic than a bitch who can't move on. Michael Weston. Get out of my fucking life. Get out of my computer. Nobody owes you a fucking thing. You gotta have a police report filed, and other than that, I don't call locals. I don't need to. I have help from somewhere else. Fabian Puzzle. Fabian Puzzle. That doesn't mean there's not some locals around here I like. I do, and I respect them. But I try to stay away from them, so they don't end up like Lucky and Mike. I have to be very careful which police I talk to, Mr. Powell. Because what if they're nice to me, and then Perry thinks that's a leak, so he kills them. Then what do we do? You're putting police in danger. I come from police. I don't take that lightly. I don't take it lightly at all. You're pro-life. Then protect life. Or don't get up and say you're pro-life, because you're really not. All life. Right? All life. Murder in the first degree of a police officer. And you guys attacked me. Let's take all her money. Let's starve her to death. Let's try to make her leave Oklahoma. Recording after recording after recording after recording. Let's make sure she can't make money. Let's make sure, her Uber Eats app doesn't work right, so she can't make any money. Let's call Upworks. Let's make sure she can't make any money. Over and over and over, you're recording after recorded after 30,000 emails. I had to go to a printer who has a industrial size printer thingy. Your guy said 30,000 of these I counted. He's trying to hurt her, and someone else stepped in and put a stop to it. What are you thinking? You're caught now. You don't get a date ever with me. You're caught, sir. I wanted Tulsa police to arrest you and get you to waive so you can explain why you did all that. Because you keep saying you want to explain it to me. I'm happy to let you in their office after you've waived your right to counsel. And right now, I don't think you even have counsel because your counsel's been identified as a co-conspirator. And now, whatever recordings come in, There is no attorney-client privilege anymore. Not for y'all. Not in that court. Not in your criminal case. Tulsa police, they have hundreds of victims and shit to deal with. You got 5 people. You got 5. I don't know why the hell you didn't do the obstruction of justice. I don't know who the hell gave my police report over to the offender. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. You do what you do. I didn't come up here to pick a fight with you either. I come from police. That's my family. I also, keep in mind, I have to be careful in how I handle things with y'all because I don't want to get one of you killed. At the same time, I think if Lucky had to do it again, he would have put him in jail. A lot sooner than we'd have a Lucky and a Mike here where they belong. It matters to me. I back the blue. That's my family. I'm Chief Hall's granddaughter. That's my family. You hurt my family. And you hurt them in a way they will never get over. We can't get Lucky back. We can get Mike out of jail, but we can never get those years back that he's lost. And I don't forgive you, any of you, who had anything to do with that at all or covering it up. Because Perry and Powell and Robertson could have come out and said we didn't do it. And I can see why she thinks that we did. And you can tell Mike didn't do it because there's no evidence on him that looks like he was in a fight. Much less a deadly beatdown like that. And Lucky died in the line of duty for me. Trying to protect me. It doesn't get any more cop than that. It doesn't get any more police officer than that. We're supposed to relieve suffering caused by crime, whether you're a cop or not. And there's so much suffering in this situation. There's so much of it. And Mike's son and the Miller kids, and they're always gonna suffer. You ever lose somebody you love? What if it was your kid? What if you were in jail and I was defending you like this? TBD, any of you. You can't let this shit go. And they could have stood up and said, she's right, there's no evidence that Mike could have done this, so let's find out who did because we don't want it to look like it was us. We don't want that suspicion on us, so let's find out who did really do it. And they didn't do that. They attacked a witness, and I kept saying he's not going to let me testify. He's not going to let me speak. And they didn't. They didn't let me speak, and so I filed a motion to intervene, and nothing happened. There was no hearing, and there should have been. There should have been a hearing. How many times has that happened? Over and over and over. There should have been a hearing. And there was no hearing. TBD, you have 5 people. My guys have a lot of them. And they're not going to come out until they're ready. Because if they do, they can't do what they want. They can't do the job effectively. I don't have any words for incompetence. I don't have patience for it. And I don't have words or patience for corruption. And the guy that was mad that Charles ran me out of town, I'm going to tell you something. That man sat and watched me in a room in Lubbock during a meeting. And I did let somebody have it right in front of everybody. And I didn't give a shit who he was. All that's evil, all that's necessary for evil to prevail is when good people do nothing. I can't imagine how anybody lets Michael sit in jail day after day after day after day. And they attack me and they want to shut me up because I know he didn't do it. He's a police officer. In my mind, he's still a police officer. And he's a police officer down in need of assist. And Charles, I hate your guts for what you did to him and to Chief Miller. I won't forgive you, and I don't have to. No one owes you that. And frankly, when you say I'm sorry after you did something like that, it doesn't help. It makes everybody want to hit you. Shut up. Just shut up and go away. Just shut up and go away. Your actions show guilt. And destruction of evidence is evidence, you idiot. It is evidence. If a cop walks into a room where there's a missing wife or a missing person, missing kid, and the carpet has just been changed out in one room and it smells like bleach, that is evidence something happened there that somebody wanted covered up. And it will be presented in court as act showing consciousness of guilt. Rule 404, if it's federal. acts showing consciousness of guilt. You showed you knew you did something wrong. You showed you knew it was a crime, and you tried to cover it up, and that is evidence. When you destroy my evidence, that is evidence. And you're a fucking idiot if you don't get that. I want you gone. I'm never going to help you. And you typing in my phone this morning, is it New Jersey? Oh my gosh, how many times do I have to repeat the same thing? I'm never going to help you. I want for you to be gone. If you think it's New Jersey, call him and tell him to stop stopping your crime. Ask him, is it you? Stop stopping my crime. Don't ask me. Don't contact me. Don't contact me. Leave me the fuck alone. This is the law. This is the law. Obey it. It's not just what I saw on the picture of Mike from News 6 on the interview when he says, I don't believe I killed anybody. I don't believe you. Look at me. I don't look like I was in a fight. Because if he was in a fight and he got knocked out in that fight and he doesn't remember what happened, what he would say then is, I'm all beat up. Who did this to me? What happened? He didn't say that. He said, I'm a police officer. I know all about evidence. I'm the detective, actually. I just took a case. I took pictures of the evidence. And guess what? There isn't any on me, so I don't believe what you're telling me is true. Detective Fife, this is the arrest report, Mr. Powell, and it says he has a red swollen right hand. He had an IV in the right hand. He didn't get his blood drawn until after the Narcan had changed the chemical composition in his blood. I said 2 months before anybody else said it. It wasn't public yet. He was drugged and not given a full tox panel until until it was too late. I knew. How did I know, Powell? Because you're being investigated. That's how. Robertson's being investigated. Perry's being investigated. That's how. This I had made for them. I'm not going to give it to them right now, but this is for them. As lawmen, we're called to relieve suffering caused by crime. The little boy took the doll away, and the policeman is making him give it back. I had this drawn. I found an artist. I paid the artist, and I said, please draw this for me. I want to give it to Manford Police and to the Millers and the Neelys. This is them. This is the legacy. This is their legacy. They died for me. Mr. Miller, Chief Miller, died a physical death. And Officer Neely it's the same thing. He's not dead, but he's dead. He feels dead. How dare you put him through that, Mr. Powell? And then your main concern is, where am I? Where is my whereabouts? What color is my hair? What's wrong with you? Do not lie. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not have any other gods before me. Do not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Do not covet that which is not yours, and don't commit adultery, Charles. Are you chasing a woman that doesn't even want you? God isn't mocked. You reap what you sow. There's karma in all religions. The plans of the wicked will come to nothing. They will gnash their teeth in frustration, because God is going to work out his plans for our lives, and his plans for us are good. Plans to prosper us and never ever to harm us, but to give us hope in a future. How dare you put him through it one more day? That is very, very specific to me, is it not? It's not some other name on there. It's Fabian's name on that puzzle, intersecting with the word hope. Me is indicative of Charles's selfishness. Everything's about him. Me, 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 me. Lie for me. Listen to me. I want. Yep, but I don't want you. And just butting in, and butting in, and butting in, and butting in. Sadness on the left. On the right. Boo on the left. Boo is a private joke between one of my friends and I that got me that, Mr. Perry. What else is in that book that I didn't highlight? That denotes the fear. And you cause fear and sadness. Nobody knows the relationship between me and Fabian. That's between me and Fabian. A lot of things can define a relationship. We'll define it without your help. Thank you. You're not his spokesperson. He's going to tell me by himself. He's a grown man, and he doesn't need you to speak for him. But the guys that listened to what I said the first time, I don't like Charles. He's a butt-in. Fabian made me hope. Fabian made me hope. That is what I want to feel, hope. Not sadness and fear. You don't understand how people think. Human emotions, you're void of them. So you don't factor that into anything you do, and you lose every time. That's why you get caught. No empathy. No empathy. And then you make everybody furious at you. Furious at you. I can't believe they did that to her again. That's what we hear the most. I can't believe they did that to her. I can't believe they did that to her. I can't believe they did that to her. Anger, animosity, people turning against you like a motherfucker. Nobody owes you a fucking thing, and I didn't come up here to pick a fight with anybody. I came here to get away from one. Blessed are the peacemakers, and that's not you. You don't invade a woman's privacy, Charles, and think you're going to get a date. Walk into a bar and tell everybody, hello, I'm Charles Perry, and I got a peepin' Tom weirdo problem. I can't control myself. Anybody want to go home with me? And I'll try to subjugate you. I'll steal all your money because I get off on torture, torment, and starvation of women and children. Anybody want to date with me? You see how many women want to go home with you? I would love to see that. Just do it as a test. Let's just see how that works. Make them sign an NDA. I didn't sign an NDA. I did offer that. Before I made anything public, I'll sign anything you want me to sign and not tell about your little secret weirdo problem. If you will leave me the fuck alone. And you said no. That was in 2014. Right after that thing right before, somewhere in the time period when you were butting in to me and Fabian, and I was pissed about it. All I want him to do is leave me the fuck alone, Michael, with Empower Texas. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone, because when you piss me off, you pissed off the guys that give me that. And they can do things you've not seen before. I want Michael Neely home with his family, back to his wife, and back to his son. He is not guilty of murder. You are. And if you didn't do it, I suggest you find out who did. Because right now, all the suspicion is on you. I don't care what frauds you perpetrated in that courtroom. Sometimes you perpetrate one in a courtroom, but not in the public eye. And then you get everybody mad at you. You killed a cop, you're going to get a bunch of cops from all over the country mad at you. There is a whole lot more cops out there than your little world that you bought. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone.
Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. You guys need to...
I forgot. I wanted to show this one more time. Not a mark on him. He had a busted lip and nose. In the arrest report it says he has a busted lip and nose from a separate event. Once it got quiet or whatever happened, there was a roaring sound for 45 minutes. They were dying. That's what that was. 45 minutes. And once it got quiet, the guests went back down and got Hotel John and said, you need to go check that room. Something's wrong. And they came in and found Mike on top of Lucky. Because the guys beat Lucky to death. Mike's passed out on the bed. They throw him on top and leave, thinking they're both dead or dying. And one of them was. Internal decapitation, blunt force trauma to the head. On both sides, because his head was hit back and forth and back and forth. And the brain is hitting on the inside of the skull. And a lot of damage is done, and he died from it. And he was strangled. Does that look like a guy that just did that? You would have bloody hands. You'd have cut up, bruised hands. And he's got nothing. Red, swollen right hand. A busted lip and nose from being pulled off Lucky by Hotel John after the whole thing's over. Thrown face first into the floor, Mr. Powell. And you want to know what's her whereabouts? Do you know her address? Can you at least give me a zip code? That's what's important to you? God help you. Red swollen right hand has an IV in it. That's why it's red and swollen. Because you beat somebody to death like Lucky Miller was beat. You're not going to look like that. He was in a fight. He was hit 3 times. The beer in my hand did not slosh out, Mom. He was in Vegas. We liked Vegas. We had a good life in Vegas. The beer in my hand did not even slosh out. A security card game and made us break it up and go home. Nobody was dead. Nobody was hurt. I got hit 3 times, but he has a busted lip. It's cut. He's got a bruise on his cheek and a bruise on his eye, Mr. Powell. That's what somebody looks like. He was just in a fight. Point out for me. You had a plan. When you did the first false arrest, we're going to send her home, harass the fuck out of her. When she tells on us, we're going to say she's harassing us. We're going to lie. And not only are we going to lie, we're going to lie to the highest court in the land. And while you're planning that, Justice Scalia strangely dies. William O. Ritchie comes out and says, I don't think that was right. I think he might have been murdered. There might be foul play. Because they didn't follow procedures, postmortem procedures, like we would have in D.C. had he died in D.C. He's a commander of homicide. He's a murder cop. Retired. I think he was knowing. So what happened? The Texas Rangers that covered all this up got pissed off because Lucky and Mike weren't covering it all up too. Did you guys do it? We've heard 2 schools of thought. It's bikers hired by Dave or police that have been they were at a police conference covering up for Charles all these years. Which one was it? You guys tell us. He's given Narcan. It's right here, Matt. He was given Narcan. I can't handle it. I don't know how any of it. Listen, anybody that wants to defend this, you have the guts to come to my face and defend it. And don't act like somebody's picking on you. Don't act like somebody's picking on you. You did something wrong, and you knew it was wrong, and you got caught. Boo fucking who. You're not entitled to a cover-up. You're not entitled to a lie. Guess what? There was a prosecutor, a sheriff in Los Angeles who wanted a prosecutor to seek the death penalty against some men who killed a cop. He wouldn't do it. He went to the feds. They did it. Sometimes you just go to the guy who'll get it done right. The go-to guy. Are you a go-to guy, Matt? I don't think you are. You're a part of the problem or you're part of the solution, but you can't be both. So I'm thinking that sheriff in LA County, pretty badass dude. He's a good cop. I want the death penalty for these guys. They killed the cop. And the DA wouldn't do it. So he went to the feds and they're going to do it because they want capital punishment. Why are you any different? I don't think you are. No one does. No one does. They can't make hell hot enough for you, Mr. Perry, Mr. Robertson, and Mr. Powell. If that's where you end up, and that's not my call. And you better thank God it's not my call. God is merciful. And boy, I tell you what. They can't make hell hot enough for you. If it were up to me, you go, and they can't make it hot enough. So you better be glad I'm not God. And you're no different than the scumbags that killed the cop in LA County. And the sheriff was not satisfied with the DA's answer. So he went to the feds. Whoever has to get it done, just get it done. And you put a stop to it. So, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone.
Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop.
Perry, no one asked you what you think. You're contacting me against my will. I left. You have come into my home, and you're raping me. And I'm hitting you back, and you're mad because you're getting hit back. If you don't like getting hit back, get off me and get the fuck out of my home. And do not come anywhere near me again. Do you understand? I expect you to respond right to what's being said now. Because if you don't, a bunch of doctors are going to go tell a judge when they ask for a wiretap order what they think of that. Get the fuck out of my life.
Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I'm here.
Just
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I'm here.
Just
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why you. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why you. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why you. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why you. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why you. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why you. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't.